Let's see what the heck is going on here.
Y'all know I had to do it. I have been watching the Gypsy Rose Life After Lockup on Lifetime, and I have a lot of things to say about it. I've seen the first 2 episodes, and I've actually been wanting to do another video on Gypsy Rose, because if you know, you know, I've done a couple on her before. I'm kind of more so from that side of things where I don't understand like why people are obsessed with her. But you know what, that's just me. In my previous video, or one of them that I had done about Gypsy Rose, saying something to the effect of, you know, what's his name? Ryan. He didn't give me like really bad vibes in the interviews, but that I feel like someone who would reach out to a woman who's in prison for conspiring to murder her mom, you know, they would have to kind of have something wrong with them. I don't feel like that's a normal thing to do.
You what?
Oh my goodness gracious.
I honestly feel like anybody who would disagree with me is probably somebody who's written people in prison. There's so many things that are interesting about this docu-series that already I have things to say, and a lot of things about Ryan. Like, we all know kind of like where I stand, or at least I think we do. I don't think it's fair to assume, because some people get the wrong idea on what I think, feel, and mean. I'm pretty sure we all kind of know like where I'm at with Gypsy Rose as a person, but from the first episode, I already have so many things to say.
There's a whole episodes and everything. I didn't know that. Randa, thanks for donuts and the bear.
About Ryan as a person, and you know, we're gonna go ahead and just hop right into it because there is a lot of things to go over. But if you weren't aware, you are actually able to watch this show on Lifetime's website. So just search up Gypsy Rose Life After Lockup Lifetime, and you can watch it with ads. So if you want to watch it before you hear what I have to say, feel free, but we definitely got some stuff to go over and maybe a few videos to react to. So at the very beginning of the show, it gives like this background into Gypsy Rose. To be honest, I skipped some of it because I already know all of that. But then it goes right into filming as soon as she gets out of prison, which I personally think is a terrible idea, but also at the same time, very entertaining for us viewers, I feel. But as for the person who's just getting out of prison, I don't know that it's the best idea to immediately be being recorded. You're gonna be having a culture shock. You're gonna be over.
It is if she got that paycheck. What are you talking about? She said, how much you gonna pay me? Hell. Boom.
Overwhelmed with all the things that life has to throw at you after being in prison for 8 years. You're gonna try and learn how to navigate being married and being a wife and having a husband and living with your partner after being in prison, but then all of this is gonna be recorded. So the first time she sees Ryan when she gets out's recorded. Like, I mean, it feels almost too personal. Like, I'm not supposed to be watching this. Now,
that's why people watch it. They want the tea. They want all them teas.
If you guys have seen the Life After Lockup show that isn't about Gypsy Rose, but the one that's about all the random people that are like dating people in prison, that show is the dirtiest, messiest, sloppiest, grossest, most exploitive reality show that you could possibly ever watch. And I don't know if this is done by the same people that did that one.
Probably.
But I just remember hearing that it was called Life After Lockup, and I'm like, okay, this is gonna be a wild ride already because I already know that show. When it comes down to the one that I've seen, they don't shy away from being extremely exploitive, so going right into filming her right after she gets out isn't above what these types of shows do. I don't think it's a good idea for several reasons. But I mean, Ryan has a camera in the car as he's going to pick her up. And there's this part where he like sprays himself with cologne. And this is, I feel like, one of the first like moments that you get to see, okay, this guy's a creep. He like sprays himself with cologne and he's like, this will get her in the mood.
I spray my cologne on. She loves my cologne. Put her in the mood.
So he's going to pick her up and he
Holy mackerel. Sierra, thank you. You were so sweet.
is immediately thinking about hooking up with her and their first time.
It's so hot.
They're already married, yeah.
Oh, it's so...
What is he supposed to do? Not want to hook up with her? I corresponded with you in prison because I was not wanting to hook up with you at all.
You what?
Man, the whole time he's writing them letters like...
Clank, diddy, clank, diddy, clank, clank, clank. It feels so weird being in a car.
I get to touch your leg.
Whoa!
Why is it spicy?
She's getting out of prison, like you should be so excited to show her life and to experience life with her, but your first
That's what he wanted to do.
thought is, I'm
He's trying to show her all kinds of life.
gonna get her in the mood with this cologne.
It was so good. You want some fries?
No.
You don't?
No.
You want some fries?
I just want to
Okay.
just be.
So it's new to me.
It's different.
Yeah, it's a different feel.
Whether you like Gypsy Rose or not, I feel like there are a lot of men she needs to be careful of. And honestly, any man, including Ken, that has written to you while
You done writ to her. What you doing written to her? Y'all, I like these kind of cases too, where it's like we can have a little bit more lightheartedness, right? Reacting to stuff that's a little more lighthearted. Not so much the just boom, boom, boom. Oh, gosh.
you are in prison is a weirdo. That's not a normal thing to do. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings, but if you're in prison and somebody's reaching out to you, they're a weirdo. That's just not normal. They go meet somebody at a coffee. What are we doing here? What?
It's 2024. Well, I guess 2023 at that time. You got people doing all that kind of stuff. Don't the prisoners have like their own like dating site where people can just go through and like scroll mugshots and find? Oh my God. Incarcerated Ender. Oh my God. Instead of Bumble, it's felony Bumble.
That was easy.
All right, let's keep going.
What? She gets out and, he's all acting like she just looks so sexy and all this. I'm like, give this girl a break. It's like, what, 3 a.m?
I just want to hold you.
I was cold all night, but I'm not cold anymore.
You know, look, I can actually rub up. That's so hot. I can actually love on you now.
Chill. Get her some McDonald's french fries, take her home, and let her rest. Order to paint.
You wasn't trying to rest? What? Heck no. That's like saying you talk to somebody on the phone for like years and then you finally meet in person and the first night you're like, why don't we just sleep? We could just have a little rest. We can get some sleep. We can wake up and go by the pool. No. You're trying to get that.
Clank, diddy, clank, diddy, clank, clank, clank.
Paint this picture
Allegedly. I have no idea. I'm not these people.
that I really just
Yeah, Jackie, exactly. Hawk 2 on that. I saw those videos all over too. That's just funny as hell. Yeah, Hawk 2 on that time.
I just want to show you guys like how weird these men have to be that wrote her in prison. Let's go over some of the headlines that they saw that made them want to reach out. These are the pictures and the headlines that these men were seeing when they reached out to her. They didn't see the Gypsy Rose that we see now. The one who looks like an adult, that like they did not see that version. They saw these headlines about what happened to her mom, all this stuff, and these pictures. And this is what made them want to get to know her. I'm just saying the things that other people don't want to say. All right. Now, if some man gets to know her now, she's done her time, they get to know her now while she's out, that's a different story. But somebody who has a desire to get to know her and this is the state that they knew her in, what?
Yeah, that is a little bit creepy. I see what she's trying to say there. When she's looking like 11 from Stranger Things versus looking like an adult. That is a little bit strange.
What the hell is actually wrong with you? Like, this girl needs to breathe. She needs some time. She needs therapy. She needs help. She doesn't need a creepy boyfriend. All right. I mean, like, he sees her and he's like rubbing her arm and saying, ooh, that's so sexy. Like, it is the most.
That's I mean, come on. How long did they know each other before they knew each other? You know what I'm saying?
Uncomfortable thing. Like, I mean, the cameras are right there. These not even like
Sierra, you're so sweet.
respecting her on camera. You know what I mean?
Because they told them to do that. The producer told them to do that. The producer was like, yo, y'all get cringe as hell. They were egging that on. I guarantee what do you think the producer's going to be saying? Make sure y'all sit on opposite. You know what? We got you 2 separate rooms. Gypsy, you can stay in this room. What's the guy's name? Ryan. Ryan, you stay in this room. And you guys just don't. No, they want the content. Of course they want them to touch and him to be all, that's literally why people are watching it.
Like, he's immediately trying to show, in my personal opinion, what it came off to me. He's like, these cameras are here. I'm going to show all these other guys what they missed. Because I forgot to mention this. There's this other clip where he literally says something to the effect of, all these people, all these men wanted to get to know her and be the ones that got to pick her up in prison. And it's me. It got to be me. So he's already coming from this mindset of, I won. I'm the one who's doing this thing that all these other guys wanted to do. And to me, that speaks volumes instantly. You know what it reminds me of? What? Like a dog pissing on a tree to mark his territory. This is being recorded, so I need Ken and all these other men to know that she's mine. Like, I'm marking my territory. Give her a moment. Like, these are the moments that you want to be recorded and filmed and put on TV forever. This is what you want people to see. Exploiting her immediately, like the second she gets out. She's clearly so uncomfortable. They're making jokes about, like, what if she snores? And he makes this comment about how he'll get her a sleep apnea mask.
I snore.
Well, then we got to get a divorce right away. I'm going to get you a sleep apnea mask, and then we'll really be there. The moment I said that, I thought, I'm not your mother.
No. And I have to bring up this. There's this scene where, like, she gets on the phone with, I believe it's the parole officer in Missouri. I'm not entirely sure if it's a parole officer, but it's someone over there, like a police officer man. And he calls her and he's like, you need to leave the state of Missouri immediately, because they were planning on going to see a Chiefs game. He's like, no, you need to get out of the state of Missouri and report to your parole officer in Louisiana, even though her parole officer in Louisiana said that she didn't need to immediately report back because he wasn't going to be in the office for a few days. We're like, no, you got to leave the state of Missouri because we're responsible for you until you are out of this state. They call and he's trying to tell her all this stuff on the phone. He's trying to ask her all these questions. And the whole phone call, Ryan, well, number one, he tried to grab the phone from her and hang up on him, which, whoa, are you trying to get her sent back to prison immediately? The controlling behavior that he immediately exhibits is so concerning. Like, he's trying to hang up the phone for her. He's answering all the questions that this man is asking her for her and being so rude and, like, aggressive about it and not letting her handle her own phone call.
Right now we're headed to Kansas City.
To meet her family.
Okay, because they want you to report immediately.
No, they don't.
And we can game this weekend.
Our plan was we were gonna
Our plan was already set.
stay a few days in Kansas
Yeah,
City.
with our POs.
Time to stop off in Kansas City.
Yes.
Yes, he does. On
first.
New Year's Day.
The reason why I'm bringing this up is because not only did it show, like, extreme controlling behavior, in my opinion, that he can't even let her handle her first phone call out of prison, but on top of that, she was in prison for conspiring to murder her mom that was controlling her entire life, right? And then now you're also exhibiting controlling behaviors. Do you see what I'm saying? It's almost like he was seeking out someone that he thought he could control. You know what I mean? Like, I was watching it and I was so annoyed. I'm like, dude, would you shut the F up? Like, she could go back to prison. And like I said, whether you like Gypsy Rose or not, let her handle her own phone call, my dude. Jesus Christ. These men had these really weird fantasies with getting with her, including Ken, who she's currently with, because if you're gonna write this girl that's in prison for all this stuff, like, you already have something wrong with you, period. And this shows that exactly where his head's at is
Whoa.
not only is he exploiting her on TV, but then
Jessica, thank you. Maybe he's just doing it because he wants to be a loving husband. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he was like, I got you, girl. I'm going to protect you. I ain't going to let them talk to you like that.
you also have these
I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know these people. Nurse KK, thank you.
scenes where before he's going to pick her up,
Oh, Nurse KK, you're so sweet.
he's sitting there talking to the cameras and he's like, so many people or so many men wanted this opportunity to be able to pick her up from prison, and I'm the one that gets to do it. It's like you can already see that he's coming from this mindset of, I'm the one she picked. Just excited that he won and that he wants to rub it in these other people's faces, including Ken, that he's the one that won, instead of like actually caring and loving.
Isn't that being proud of your wife? That sounds like a good thing. Wouldn't you want your significant other to be proud that they're with you and not with somebody else? I feel like that's not as bad as she's making it sound. I mean, maybe he was creepy about it, but would you rather him be like, nah, I'm good, and be trying to get with somebody else? It's a little bizarre, but again, I don't know these people.
Loving the person that he's with. It's more so about like showing people and being the one that won. There's this like scene where she's in her room with Ryan and she's pulling out all of this lingerie. And this is what I mean about the people who make these life after lockup shows being so exploitive, because why are we filming this?
So he bought these for me.
Because they want the views. What do you, come on. Why did they make that? I wonder why. So that you'll make a video about it, so that I'll react to a video about it, everybody be talking about it, because they want eyeballs watching this series.
About 2.5 years ago, we just started dating. I always wanted to wear this one. A big part of womanhood is learning to be comfortable with their sexuality.
They're like filming her like holding it up to herself and being like, oh, this is the first one I was gonna wear that he bought for me to wear for our first time out of prison. You mean to tell me that while you were in prison, this guy bought you piles of lingerie for when you get out, but couldn't even get you one pair of shoes that fit? For Christmas, he gets her high heel Louis Vuittons, okay? These like glossy black, like super high heeled, sexy Louis Vuitton shoes. The shoes that he brings her when she's out of prison don't fit her. Bro, you couldn't even get this girl shoes that fit and that are comfortable for her to wear. She has to waddle into a shoe store while people are like taking pictures of her and paparazzi and stuff. You could buy her all this lingerie, piles of it, and sexy shoes. Where's your head at? Actually, don't answer that. We all know.
He probably wasn't planning on going on a hike. He probably was like, man, even if I get you shoes or anything else, he's trying to not have it on that long anyways.
How dare you?
I don't know. I'm not these people. But yeah. Did he get her a toothbrush? Does she have a toothbrush? Or do they have to get one from the front desk? That'd be my real question. I want to know that. This video.
These scenes where it's like they're talking about how they consummated their marriage and all this stuff.
We've been having sex the last 2 nights.
Why are we talking about this? There's nothing about it that feels sentimental and beautiful and special. It feels like it's just all about like, here's the tree I'm peeing on, and not romantic and sweet at all. Like her dad gave her this necklace and it had this
It's a reality TV show, of course.
really nice message in it, and I'm like, but her own husband can't say or do anything romantic. It's just all about gotta get her in the mood and rubbing on her arms. She's so sexy. Ugh. And also, so there's this like clip that we see in like the second episode where they're having their first on-screen like argument, and you can tell that it's really heated, but they're trying to keep it like calm because the cameras are there.
I say we call it hormonal.
I'm not hormonal. I'm just a woman.
Okay, well, let's call it a woman.
No.
Okay.
This is where she really wants this dog, and so we get to see, and we all heard about when she adopted the dog and everything, but in this moment we get to see her and him were not on the same page with this. Like he's telling her like, don't you, like you gotta, you know, take the dog out to pee and like pick up the poop, and trying to talk her out of getting the dog because it's a lot of responsibility. And she gets really triggered because, you know, with her mom did everything for her and made her feel like, you know, a child who couldn't do anything for herself. And so she gets triggered because she's like, I know how to take care of a dog, and it's like, she is an adult woman. If she wants a dog, she can get a dog. She don't gotta ask. It's like, again, we see his controlling behavior come through of like, it's
Huh? Is that controlling behavior to say, hey, maybe we're not ready to get a full-on dog? Maybe we should travel some and like, you know, get to know each other before we just get like a fur baby? I don't think that's a good advice. Hey, hold on. Think about this first. Don't just get out and then immediately jump into getting something like a puppy dog or something. That's not, is that really? Y'all let me know what you think. I think that's good advice.
It's very telling to me that you wrote her in prison and wanted to get with her whenever you're just as controlling, and she came from a controlling environment, right? But I mean, the thing that I really want to talk about is like, he tells her on camera, you are so violent.
I want a mouse sheet.
All right, I'm working on it.
So violent.
I'm not violent. Take it back.
He says that. I'm like, she just got out of prison for conspiring to murder her mom,
So she is.
right? And the cameras are there. Wouldn't you want to make her look good? Like,
No.
why would you say on camera, you're so violent? Why would you say that?
Because She's trolling.
Like, are you trying to get her sent back to prison? Another part that's like really awkward where he like sits by her and puts his arm around her and she's like, you're hovering, and he gets all mad.
That's fine. You're hovering. Thank you.
My personal opinion on Gypsy Rose is, girl, you shouldn't be with anybody. You shouldn't be with Ken. You shouldn't be with any man that wrote to you while you're in prison. That's for sure. I feel like if somebody like met her and got to know her outside of prison and maybe didn't know the history of everything, whatever, right? Because you're getting to know someone who's...
That's worse. Would you want... Oh, come on. Use the reverse logic of that. Say a guy goes into prison and he does all this horrible things. He conspired to, red rum somebody. You don't want to know any of that stuff? You want him to just go back out into society and just meet girls outside of that and be like, oh, yeah, you don't know anything about me? Awesome. Let's start dating. Do you want to get married? What? No. I think it's total opposite. I think total opposite. All the people that already knew what they were getting into, they're also adults. So if they want to write to her and get with her and be with her and live a happy ever after or whatever, then let them.
Trying to rehabilitate themselves, a new life. But if you know her from what she did with her mom, she needs to get away from every single guy that knows her from that situation and that wrote to her while she's in prison. And I don't even like Gypsy Rose, and I'm saying that. Like, I feel like...
That is that logic is crazy, isn't it? That's a little bit strange. I mean, to each their own. We can all have differing opinions, but I think seriously, all the analogy of that is think of it if it's a guy that did the same thing.
Anybody who's going to reach out to her, knowing her from that state, and like I said, those headlines and those pictures are what they saw, and that made them think, oh, I want to date this girl while she's in prison. No. Something's wrong with you. You're not well. You need to seek therapy. Also, she gets back with Ken, right? She says they've been in love for a very long time, which means, in all these interviews and clips and stuff that we've seen of her talk about Ken, she was lying in them, which I don't think looks really good either, because a lot of the people, myself included, that have questions on things, it's because we're wondering, are you manipulating and lying even still? And so she gets caught lying about how she doesn't have things for Ken, but is in this live right here saying that she does have feelings for Ken, that they were in love for a very long time. So which one is it? If you weren't using Ryan, then what was this? But also, her stepmom kept in contact with Ken, right? Kept in contact with him this whole time.
Guess who texted Christy this morning? KU.
No.
Yes.
Mother. And of course, Christy let you know about it. Too late, buddy.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but if somebody breaks up with their significant other, unless you have some sort of ties to them through the family, like if they have children together or something, unless that, I don't see any reason why somebody in your family should still be communicating with your ex-boyfriend or girlfriend. I feel like the step...
Because they build connections too, and they're adults, and they can continue to talk to whoever they want to talk to.
Mom doing that was really weird, and she also kind of gives me weird vibes anyway. Like, she's in these clips talking about how she's so excited to see Gypsy, but the first moment Gypsy walks in and she sees her, doesn't even stand up and get off the couch to say hi to her. Like, Gypsy has to walk over to her and ask for a hug and her to stand up. Like, she doesn't even get off the chair to go see
It's all about ratings.
this girl that she...
All that was staged. All that was produced out.
She's been so excited to see that just got out of prison. You know, she's calling her daughter. And I mean, like Gypsy says, you know, me and Ryan consummated our marriage, and the stepmom is all like celebratory, like, yay.
We consummated our marriage. You're so happy for me.
But then her sister takes her off into the room and is like trying to help her prevent getting pregnant by this guy, and just being like, do you like have birth control? You need to go see a gynecologist.
Birth control. Did you figure that out?
Not yet.
Her sister is having more responsible responses to the situation than her own stepmom is. I don't know, guys. I do not know what to expect with this show. You're gonna have to let me know what you think. Did you see it? What were your thoughts? If you want to see me comment more on this show as it progresses, definitely let me know. I probably will anyway, because I know there's gonna be so much to say, so much to talk about. If you want to hear my recaps of Life After Lockup with Gypsy Rose, whatever
Oh, snap.
the show's called.
And do y'all want me to keep on reacting to the reaction of the reaction of the reaction? Welcome in. Hit the thumbs up button, YouTube.
Definitely like this video, subscribe so that you can see when I do another video about it. Do not forget to subscribe, because if you don't subscribe, you might forget all about me and forget I exist, and I don't want you to do that. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you soon for another recap of what the hell are we watching. Gypsy Rose, Blanchard, Life After Lockup.